Hyperdive Heroes is a podcast for grown-ups, with cursing, depicted violence, and unsettling descriptions. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of your favorite show.
Whatever this is.
Yeah, your favorite show, Hyperdive Heroes. We're back for another fun episode.
Thomas, it's Hyperdrive, not Hyperdive. Get it right.
No, it is Hyperdive.
Oh,
It
I know.
Let's just sit here and repeatedly gaslight the audience into not being sure which one it actually is. And then every so often, we just change the title. Every once in a while.
You know, I still was saying Hyperdrive in my head, so...
Yeah, well, no, it's Hyperdive. It's Hyperdive. It's Hyperdive. It's in the title.
But what if we
Hyperdrive
as a prank?
We're gonna change the name halfway through the show, and even the audience is gonna wonder what the name of the show is.
And we're just gonna
Welcome to this next episode of Merkle Derps.
Just retroactively change the title on all the previous episodes to just Mandela affect everyone into being confused.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hype Divers. It's me, your favorite diver.
Diving into what's hype this weekend, bro.
It's me, your favorite diver, Jacques Cousteau.
Jacques Cousteau. Hey everybody, my name is Thomas Kirkendall. I am your rabble rouser, your game master, your storyteller, and put upon rules lawyer. And I'm here with my favorite people in the world, my players that I torture every time we play this game.
favorite people to torture.
Yeah, my favorite people to torture specifically. But I love you guys. You guys are great. Let's go alphabetically this time. Oh, thanks, Sam. Let's go alphabetically this time. Alex, you want to go next?
Hello, it is me, Alexander Kirkendall, the younger brother and eternal unfortunate sidekick of this dude, the rabble rouser. And I'm here to play Robert Orion Bancroft, the tired Seattleite game developer with all of his cats who just wants to go home and cuddle with his cats because it sucks here, and he gets bathed in seawater by an evil wizard named Marlin.
He's not evil. He's not.
The monkey's paw disagrees.
He's not evil. He's the most powerful wizard in the land.
I don't know. Have you met Lumpy?
He's a magical wizard. I would not call Lumpy powerful. I would call Lumpy.
Lumpy is powerfully stupid.
He's something. Daedra, you want to go
brain
next?
is so smooth, it grants him mystic arts.
It's your girl, Daedra Rude, playing your boy, Chad Ryan.
Boy. Gender is a concept.
Gender is a concept. It's one of the concepts of all time.
Gender was made up by the Illuminati to sell you pancakes.
God damn, they are good pancakes, though, aren't they?
They're so good.
Hey, who are you playing again?
Chad Ryan. Two first names.
Two first names that I will never get right.
Yeah, it's true. Playing Chad, the high school sweetheart jock that everybody loves.
Tristan.
I am Tristan Riley, a basic guy playing a rather basic guy from Texas who just wants to get back to his books and his maps and his armchair. Oh, and his girlfriend.
You know,
yes,
he had a girlfriend.
And her name.
Her name. Lucy Loverton.
There you go. I'm gonna call it every time he brings it up.
I just love the and my girlfriend, by the way, because I'm so thinking about her.
Yeah,
I'm so thinking about her. She's the first thing on my mind. I mean, fourth.
All right. Last time we had just arrived at the Greenwood. You had helped Bod the Constructor repair a broken bridge with some fire tunes, courtesy of Robert. And you guys had then proceeded to make your way across that bridge to the Greenwood. Hooray.
Hooray! We've entered the Greenwood.
Hooray, we did
put
it.
on our
Title
predator
screen.
makeup and
Yep.
try not to die.
So, all of you cross the bridge and enter into the forest. Tall trees stretch high up to create a covered canopy that blocks most of the sunlight, showering the forest floor in spears of light that sort of dapple the leaf-covered and moss-covered root floor that stretch onward into the forest, giving it almost a twilight-like feeling, despite it being midday already. And you can see that there's this you can see this damp and dark woodland that stretches far into the darkness. And there is a pungent smell of earth and moss and, the wetness of trees and plants. It's just a very earthy sensation as you step forward into the forest, and you have arrived at the Greenwood.
It is dank in here.
Where are we
Precisely.
going next?
Let me bring up the map. And Robert will open his map to see where Alice is, because the boss can wait. We have to rescue the clown.
You see that the marker is moving off towards the west. Sort of towards the west of where you guys are entering.
Okay, so like along the northern coastline there.
A little deeper, more into like the heart. So like more like
Southwest-ish.
yeah, southwesty, a little more west.
Southwest.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, west-southwest about is our bearing in towards the northern heartlands of this peninsula.
Okay, we'll probably have
So
to.
I suppose we, is there a trail or are we just sort of wandering around?
It's just a big forest. There is a path that leads from the bridge into the forest, and it does appear to head further in, more towards the center of the forest, though.
Alright, I say for now, we follow the trail and keep an eye out for branching trails that might head in the direction we want to go to find Alice.
And Sonny, you actually can see large metal footprints upon the main path that stretch down into the forest, but it's not long until they exit the path into the woods and then stray off of it.
Do they look like night footprints or perhaps something a bit more made of rings?
No, they look like big, nightly footprints. There's even a matching identical set of them.
All right.
Yep, I think I found something here. Point at the
Rad.
tracks.
Brad, that's dope. I'm stoked on that. That's good.
That'll definitely help our cause. All right, Sonny, you take point.
I do, and I start following the tracks.
And
I
so you
follow
do.
Sonny.
I jump into the inventory and then I kick my feet up and I start playing my Game Tendo.
Oh, so you
The
can
game,
access
lad.
the map while you're in my inventory, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he
Um,
can.
I am
Easy.
going to rely on you to
Cool.
keep track of Alice.
All right, sounds good, boss.
All of you press into the forest and begin to follow along, kind of trying to keep track of the marker as you all make your way sort of towards, through the woods towards where the marker is located on the map. And you do have to start cutting through underbrush and trees and plants. It does become quite thick after a while. It's not exactly as easy to move through. There's lots of thick underbrush, roots, and you even start to get a few spider webs in your face as you're moving between some branches. Occasionally a branch hits you in the face. It's definitely less than pleasant traversing. It isn't long as you're traveling before you all start to notice something. You start to notice that the woods are a lot darker in this part of the forest. There's less sunlight visible. The trees, the canopy of the trees is more dense. It definitely appears harder to make your way, sort of without having to squint and actually look for light because it's becoming a little darker, which is interesting because it's still like midday. It's just really dark now.
Well, we're entering deep forest territory now.
So, if it's really that dark outside, we could probably use this lantern that's right next to me.
Yeah. Chad, when you turn and look at it, it's going like and like you're shaking and rattling, and it's where it is, but it's like not moving.
I don't think I want to, considering why I put it in my inventory in the first place.
Right, but if you can't see, he might be able to help you see. I don't know. I'm just getting nervous. This thing's like a ticking time bomb, I feel.
Sunny trips on a root. Oh,
jeez. I think I'm going to keep it in my inventory for now, because it seems to be keeping it in a state of suspended animation. And I fear that I might only have perhaps a few seconds after I take it out of my inventory before it maybe detonates. And I don't know what that might mean, so I'm just gonna keep it safe in there and pretend it doesn't exist until such time as I am that desperate.
Okay.
Robert, you walk face forward into a spider web.
yeah, watch out. There's lots of spider webs around here.
Actually, Sunny, when you point that out and you look ahead, you actually see that there is quite a bit of spider webs. Quite a lot of spider webs.
Yeah, guys, come to think of it, there's kind of an unusual amount of spider webs all around here. I mean, look at these.
Gross.
So thick.
Gross. Oh, I hate spiders. I hate
Sticky.
spiders.
And Robert, as you peel some of the webs away from your face, you notice that they actually take a little effort to peel off.
Well,
are you guys still moving, or have you stopped?
I think I would have stopped.
Stopped? Okay.
Sunny kind of sets down his pack and starts rifling through it, or I guess he doesn't need a pack necessarily. He just opens the inventory and I don't know, do we have a tinderbox?
You have a lantern?
Yeah, we certainly have a lantern. That is for sure.
If we want to
answer your question, Sunny.
Long is it?
We have a circumstance roll. So the likelihood that your equipment that you're carrying has just a standard tinder set, there is a chance. I'm gonna say this is a circumstance roll. I'm gonna say probably not. But you can roll 2d6, and if either of them is a 6, you can have a tinderbox on you.
Okay.
Roll my 2d6. What do you get?
Nope.
How many karma are you willing to spend? Because I can also give you karma.
We roll the 1 there.
On the second one, so that just means a crit fail, I guess.
You know what? Just for funsies, I think what that means is you tap, dig around, and you reach into your pockets, and you jiggle around looking for a tinderbox, and eventually what happens is you feel like you're maybe there's I think I grabbed something. And you pull out just a handful of spiders out of your pocket.
Okay. Yep. There's a lot of spiders. I shake them off my hand.
You shake them off the inventory.
You shake them off your hand, and they scatter to the floor. They're just spiders.
Yeah.
Are they already crawling up my legs?
It's hard to see. It's dark.
I pat my legs down, trying to brush any off if they're on me.
You brush something off your body.
Okay.
It might be time for us to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, let's start heading back. I don't like having spiders all crawling all over my body and my pockets. It's rather disconcerting.
I have not seen you before.
Oh dear.
You hear a voice. You hear a voice speak from the shadows.
Oh no.
We were just leaving, if that makes a difference.
No. Stay a moment. I haven't had guests in a while.
And you hear a large thunk, the thunk, the thunk, the thunk, as from above 2 giant hairy legs move along the side of a tree, as then a thorax and an abdomen of a huge spider crawls into view along what were once hard to see, but now in the dim lighting of the forest, what appears to be a large webbing over the top of you, like a giant web. Just, it's a bit up above you, but it's up there. And as the spider descends, there's actually light coming from the spider because in its many eyes are different images that are flashing by quickly, almost like its eyes are many different screens.
Ooh, camera
What
spider.
in the hell?
It is almost like the POV is changing to like different cameras on its eyes.
Hey, spider.
Like its eyes flipping between different cameras.
Hey, spider, what's up with your eyes?
What's up with my eyes? What's up with yours? You can see so much yet so little. Come, take of the web.
A giant hairy leg gestures to some of the webs just of the tree next to you.
You will see a great many things if you simply touch the web.
No.
I
No, I'm
already
good.
have web on my hand.
Yeah, but this web seems to be connected to whatever the giant web is above you. So it definitely looks a little different.
Guys, I think we should
Chad?
run.
Switch inventories real quick.
I'd switch inventories.
And I am going to lightly touch with a single pinky.
Okay. I love that. Let me see what your inclinations are, Robert. I want to see what your specialty is.
Mm-hmm.
Your fun, fantastic specialty.
And Robert dies immediately.
Just
Yeah,
immediately starts taking poison damage.
Tragic.
Slumps over Bethesda ragdoll.
I would say master of the digital languages applies to this.
Okay, so boon roll.
Yes.
That's a 1. I'm gonna spend a hero die and reroll.
Okay.
That. 5. I'm
5.
going to spend 1 karma, make that a 6.
Love that. So, Robert, you touch the web, and in a single moment, your perception is extended across a massive section of woodland, as if your eye is peering through the forest in multiple places at once. Your perception spread between multiple points of view, all simultaneous, mind-boggling to most, but your mind, flexible as it is able to understand and encompass this multiple perspectives in but a fleeting moment before your hand
Oriented kicks in.
before your hand drops from the web and your eyes snap back to present. But for a brief moment, you saw a group of knights and a group of squires, 2 and 2, running with a sack through the woods not far from here.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's really neat. That is such a cool mechanic. Oh, wow.
The spider
Yeah,
the spider looks over and says,
Pretty neat, huh?
Oh, that's so neat.
that's
Yeah.
great, Robert. Can we run
Yeah.
now?
But once you start, you can't stop.
Quick question. Be you friend or foe?
Me? Oh, I'm just a web modder.
Oh, you're a moderator. Oh, that's a good joke. Oh, that's a good one.
What you have just tapped into is the network by which all of us web modders operate the Wood Wide Web.
I see.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's so dumb, but so brilliant.
What the?
Yes. As for me, you may call me Steven.
Hello, Stephen.
Hi.
Now, my original question does stand, be you friend or foe? We are the heroes.
I actually think of myself as a bit of a jokester, actually.
So, you're not gonna
Dodging
try
the
and eat
question a
us?
little bit.
Because I've seen The Hobbit and like
What?
every
What?
fantasy RPG.
What?
Oh,
Let's
okay.
not be hasty now, Sonny.
I mean, listen, violence is a part of a society because we all live in a society.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
all right.
No, he's not. He's not friend.
Steven.
You are
What?
dodging the question, Steven.
No, I'm sorry. I'm arguing with this other really stupid web modder who thinks he knows better than me. He thinks he knows how to spin webs better, but I know what's up. I know. Hold on, give me a minute.
The spider's like tapping furiously on one web for a second.
Sorry, hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to teach this guy his place. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
oh God.
They're key web warriors. I see.
Sorry, what were we talking about again?
The eyes are like flipping between multiple images as usual.
Be you friend or foe to us.
Are you gonna try and eat us or not?
Bro, no. Why would I? No. That's gross. Ew. I don't want to eat you. I don't know where you've been.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
What do you eat then?
We web modders subsist off of the nature's bounty here within the Greenwood.
And I'm assuming the salty tears of other web modders.
No, that just is like a bonus. Here,
I
watch.
see.
The spider crawls over to the tree next to it, and it just sinks its teeth into the tree as green sap begins to pour down the side of the tree. And the spider goes, oh yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Decidedly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right. Steven,
We
it's
have
been
to-
nice chatting with you, but I think we should go.
Oh, what? Sorry. Give me a minute.
I start slowly walking away.
Sorry, no, I'm back. Where's your friend
Oh,
going? Ugh.
How, aside from touching these webs, how would one gain perhaps remote access to the Wood Wide Web?
Can you spin webs?
I personally cannot.
Well, sorry.
I see.
You can always look for a web designer. Yeah, you can check out the town center of the Greenwood. Yeah.
Also, we're looking for the more exact location of certain individuals. Two identical knights with two identical squires.
Oh, yeah. They're headed towards the Greenwood. The main Greenwood city. I don't know if you've ever been to Metaburg before. That's where most of the people hang out.
Metaburg.
Yeah, Metaburg. That's like the main settlement in the Greenwood. That's where like most people hang out. That's where Hector kind of like runs things. Well, it used to be.
Right. We're aware of the situation with Hector. We, as I said, we are the heroes. We're technically supposed to defeat the beast, restore Hector's position, acquire the sword, so on and so forth.
Defeat the beat. What are you talking about?
Right. Hector.
I thought that would be
He's
pretty
a
self-explanatory.
he's a nice guy.
Oh man, used to be.
Oh, well, what happened to him?
Yeah, it's not good in Metaburg right now. Let me tell you, things are bad. At least that's a drama I heard about. Hold on here, touch my web.
I'll touch the web again.
Okay, once again, your mind is filled with images, Robert, and you see what is basically like an MLG highlight reel with like sound effects and music of like
God.
an elven city covered with like huge tree cities and various like intersecting like walkways and panels. It's very grid-like in a sense. And you see that, you know, as you guys are this image, this shot of like different camera angles, like as you're like looking at these images and whatnot.
Like a map showcase, a PvP map showcase.
Yeah, it's definitely like super hyped up with hype music and everything. You definitely see what appears to be something crashing through the side of the city. You see multiple buildings, these tree-like buildings knocked to the ground, and you see a large figure moving through the sound, crashing through it, and people yelling and screaming. And then there's a flash of green light and an explosion of plant-like green that flashes out in all directions. And then that's when it cuts off and you let go of the web.
All right, so WMD hit Metaburg, and shit's
Don't know. I mean, but like, Hector's supposed to be keeping an eye on the binder blade, and something went down there. People think maybe he did it. Whatever happened, though, it's rough.
Well, the Dark Lord's generals have been up to some chicanery, and I believe the beast is in the area. I believe they also either themselves or sent one of their henchmen to take out the bridge that led to the mainland, the central mainland, that we had to repair before we could even get here.
What?
Hmm.
You tell me.
Didn't they?
You tell.
It was a dragon, right?
Wait. You told me the beast? The beast in town?
Yes.
Or in the wood? I got a silk about this. The spider starts pulling webs out of its ass.
Hey, whatever you're gonna do, man.
This is awful. I'm sorry. Every part about it.
Don't look! Don't look at my shame! Don't look!
I'm trying not. I'm not looking.
No!
I just got. Sonny has his head turned away. I don't want to look.
I'm in the inventory, just like feet kicked up, like just playing my game loud. I'm just like tuning this entirely out. I'm just like, no, this is disgusting.
Can I touch the web again and find the exact location of the Sir Prizes?
Yeah, they're moving towards the Metaberg.
Can I find a expedited route to Metaberg that doesn't follow the main trail?
That'd be more of a Sunny thing, but you'd have to get him to touch the web.
Sonny, I'm going to need your assistance with this. I'm trying to find an alternate route to Metaberg that can get us there faster. I need you to touch the web.
You want me to touch the web?
I look at him with my image-changing eyes, and I'm like, touch the web, Sonny.
Oh, I don't want to, but I guess I will.
Sonny, it's so cool.
Okay.
It's such a neat mechanic, I'm telling you.
I
All the
touch
kids
the web.
are doing it.
Yeah, all right, Sonny, give me a just a flat roll. D6.
All right.
3?
A 3.
Okay. I think you're definitely able to tap in and like see the images, but unlike Robert, who has like kind of a good handle on it, you're a little more like it's a bit more overwhelming. Like you can do it, but it's a bit more like like.
Can I try and walk him through it?
TMI.
I would say at this moment he's lost in the sauce, Robert. There's not much that can be done.
Why'd you tell me to touch the web?
Can't try and like make a detail-oriented roll to try and like coach him through it.
No. I will say though, Sonny, you can't actively track through the entire forest by doing this with your Pathfinder ability or Trailfinder.
I can.
Yeah, you can use basically the network of
you
webs.
become a GPS.
Yeah, the network of webs through the Greenwood allows you to sort of get a general mapping of the terrain, and you can find the quickest route to Metaberg, which is
think of it like Elgoog maps.
Yeah, right, left, right. Okay, yeah, I know how to get there real quick.
All right. Now let go of the web.
I let go. Oh, God.
You let go and you instantly it's that your perception snaps back to one singular perception. And there's a moment, Sonny, where you have to hold on to Robert because you get really bad vertigo.
Yeah. My brain feels like scrambled eggs.
Can I try and find secret locations?
And
see if I can mark them on the map. I want to try and find locations and mark them for potential treasure and side questing.
Yeah.
For those achievements.
I guess give me a boon roll again. You touch the web and you focus your concentration.
Would it be boon or double boon? Because I also have detail oriented.
I would say just boon in this situation.
Okay. 6.
Hot damn.
Robert's like, nah, dude, this is so cool.
That's double 6s. Ooh. All right, so Robert, you grab the web and Robert's eyes.
Fair, I did spend a fair amount of resources for the first 6.
Yeah, Robert grabs the webs and his eyes light up. And
I bring up the map and I'm just like,
his eyes are basically like computer screens, Sonny, and it looks like all these different images are flashing by in his eyes as he's holding the webs. And as this is happening, Robert, you're quickly zooming through this place, and you actually find nestled in like a secret grotto in the woods. It's actually hidden by most, like kind of like hidden partially like underground. And like, as I said, like in this grotto, you can go through a tree and it leads into an underground grotto where there is a hut. And the top of the hut is like a mushroom hat.
Ooh, mushroom witch hut. Ooh.
And
Mark that on the map.
another place that you also pinpoint is on the coast of the Greenwood facing the Great Plains, so sort of the eastern coast. There is a very long beach with a huge beach hut, but you can't really see because it's at the edge of the wood and you can just kind of see it out there in the sand. So there's just a beach hut out in the sand on the eastern coast.
Surfer retreat, marked, good.
And the third thing you're actually going to find is, well, actually, two more things. One, none of the webs penetrate into Metaburg. You basically get to the surrounding area, and it has just turned into like a dome of vines and plants, and it's like impenetrable from your view. So you don't know what's going on in there.
Metaburg's been separated from the grid. Good to know.
And on top of that, you can also see at the far end of the Greenwood is a forested mountain cave, and none of the woods get close to it, but they can see the area around it, and there appears to be a lot of charring and burnt branches and woods next to this large cave in the forest.
And I think we found our dragon, and I marked that as well. So there's just marks popping up on the map.
Yeah, so that's like the main things you're able to point out, like major interesting landmarks.
Okay. All right. Neat. Good. Glad we actually made this detour. This is so cool. How would I add this to a game, though? How would that... I gotta...
Robert, we've got other things to worry about.
I'm gonna whip out my idea journal and just start scribbling. So I do take my hand off the web.
Yeah, Steven is still like taking some silk and like weaving it into like a new bunch of thread as part of his web.
Hey, Steven, what do you know about the dragon?
Dragon. I don't know no dragons. No dragons. No, none. No. He starts to like recede behind the tree he came from. No dragons here.
Yay,
we don't know nothing about those. We don't know no dragons. Old Steve know nothing about dragons.
You bet, Steve. All right.
Okay, bye-bye. I love you.
Love you too, Steve.
Nope.
you say I love you too, and he goes, oh man. He like scurries away behind one of the trees.
All right, team, let's go.
Nope. Yep. Going. Bye.
Sonny, you have your route. I'll follow you.
You guys begin to make your way through the trees. Eventually, you occasionally do pass other spiders with like flickering eyes like TV screens, but they're all currently busy, spinning on their webs and whatnot. And you occasionally hear them muttering.
Web modding.
Yeah, they're busy web modding. You see them like busy like spinning different strings in silk, and they're all kind of muttering under their breath. Occasionally, you hear a few curse words, or the occasional giggle, or the occasional the apathetic sigh. Occasionally. No, yeah, but it's just a lot of muttering and mumbling, like almost like an ominous chant as you push through this part of the woods.
Hey, at least we're not in any danger.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, could be a lot worse. Still kind of creepy, though.
You guys eventually press out of that part of the woods, and you begin to come back towards Metaburg. Of course, following the trail Sunny has given you allows you to catch up easier. And eventually, you can see the woods thin out just a little bit, but then you can see this massive column of vines and plants and various like trees and bushes. It's like all sort of coalesced together into this like giant mound of like nature. You can see, all these like different plants sort of smashed together, and it's almost formed into the shape of like a tree, where all of that stuff kind of at the top branches and spreads out into like various points like branches and leaves. It almost looks like this massive like growth, because you can actually see some trees and other things have been knocked to the side or flattened to the side. This thing has definitely sprung up in the middle of the forest. And as for height, we're talking like this thing goes up to like the cloud line height.
I'm assuming this is a dungeon.
at the foot of this giant, like, construct coming out of the forest. So, like, not far from where you guys are, actually.
Damn, that's a big ass tree. Are they inside the tree fort?
Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're just outside.
All right,
It's
well, let's
possible
go.
that the Sir Prizes also did not know about this, and I motion my thumb toward the giant spire of vines.
All right, well, just tell me which way. Here, can I still find the boots? Boot tracks?
Yeah, it's a lot less, though, like, undergrowth and branches, and a lot more, like, you know, vines and roots and, like, various plants covering the floor. So there's less dirt to leave trails, but you know in a general direction which way they were heading. So,
All right, come on.
you guys press along the vines and move your way to the base of this giant, like, tree-like fort. And not too far away, at the base of this giant column, this, like, honestly, this, you know, cloud-reaching monolith of plants, you can see an assortment of figures standing at the kind of like the base of where you see was maybe once a town gate, but it has now sort of been grown over with these vines and roots blocking the path. And the vines and roots have almost formed together into these colossal giant pair of plant and root made doors that are now blocking where the gate of this town would have once been. Very imposing. And at the foot of this giant monolithic gate, you can see a couple figures. You can see a sack on the ground. You can see two matching knights currently in deep conversation, and two very put upon looking squires sitting on the ground next to the sack. And they're currently playing what appears to be like a card game, but they both have like the same amount of cards on both sides. And they both are like staring very like focused at the cards in their hands. And there's a fifth figure here as well. You can see in front of the wooden gate to this giant place is what appears to be an elf who is standing, arms crossed, eyes like narrowed, looking at the two knights. He's male. He's broad-chested, broad-shouldered. He has like tattoos running across his body in symmetrical patterns of various kinds, and long, sort of dark hair. And the tattoos are green in color. And he is currently wearing these sort of like robes that are sort of like loosely fit, and you can see that he's got a very muscular body underneath. And he is just kind of standing arms crossed, looking at these two knights as if he is so done dealing with them and has no interest in continuing to talk to them, but they are currently locked in conversation with each other. That, and also the trees have been kind of knocked down to the side, so it is kind of bright, clear, open area, although the ground is uneven. And that is sort of like the scene that all of you are walking up on.
First things first, we have to secure the bag.
How far away are they from us?
I would say you guys are at the tree line. They're about 100 feet away at this point.
100. Okay. Well, if we go for the bag right away,
Robert?
Yes?
What kind of terminology would I use to make it so they fall halfway into the ground and then stop? So that they can't run?
Good idea.
You would have to modify their collision so that they do not collide with the ground. Because the ground has a hitbox, and they have a hitbox, or rather the ground is a barrier. It might be easier to simply acquire item and then acquire the bag, but I can't remember. I'm not sure if the bag has a... What was the bag called again? Do either of you remember?
A sack? I don't know.
It had a specific name.
Oh, right. I think
Seemingly small sack?
Hold on.
No, the bag itself, it was a specific item. Can I make a roll to try and remember what the bag was called?
Did you pick it up?
I picked it up.
Sonny picked it up.
then you would not remember what it was called because only Sunny
Yeah.
is the one who saw it. Yeah.
Well,
only
can
Sunny
I
saw
roll
it.
then?
You could. It would just be like a straight D6 roll because you don't really have a boon that like specifically gives you advantage on remembering anything.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh boy.
Nat one.
You get a headache.
Sonny, you're like, I mean, it was the bag. I think you're still reeling from all the perception like experiences. You're leaning against a tree, and Robert's like, Sonny, what was that bag called? And you're like,
I don't know, man. My brain is scrambled eggs right now. I don't remember nothing.
I suppose possibly the best way to word it, can't acquire the bag, would be target / surprise toggle collision on or off.
So you said target equals?
Target
Wait.
equals
Target equals
surprise
surprise
/
toggle collision off.
semicolon on or semicolon off.
So,
It's dangerous to fuck with your powers, my dude.
Can I just shoot them?
You know what? You know what? That
Holy
actually
so
might be a
fucking
decent decision, and I jump out of the bag and into your hands as a weapon.
As a
Yes.
I threw you as a
Chad
javelin
arrow.
yeah, you're the chat arrow again.
Throw
Yeah.
him,
Or I'm a Chad
the
gun,
chat-
shoot
whichever.
him at the bag.
And then we rush in and deal with him while
Yes.
Chad runs away with the bag.
Shoot him at the bag so that he can acquire the bag. Let's get this bag.
All right. Yeah. Good idea.
Okay.
Wield
step in the woods
Chad
with
like an
the-
arrow.
Chat arrow, pulling him by the legs. Back
Yeah.
your bow.
Bad arrow you got there.
I imagine Chad's got like his arms forward, like into a point.
And a head dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his hands over his head like this, so it's like a traditional like arrowhead look.
Yeah, to a point, his hands together. Looks like he's about to dive into the water.
Got that broad head.
Yeah. Okay, and Robert, what are you doing while they're getting ready to fire Chad like a missile?
I am getting ready to put my LARPing training to the fullest, and as soon as the arrow launches, I'm gonna start sprinting across the field.
Okay.
So I put the halberd in my inventory to not encumber myself, and I just like get into a sprinter's stance.
Now, I have a boon with ranged weapons.
Robert, you ready yourself?
Yeah.
Sonny, you aim Chad whoosh, at the bag, I assume.
Ah,
And
yep,
you fire.
at the bag.
After he fires, what do the two of you immediately do? Because I need to know that for what's about to happen.
I start sprinting across the field.
Running across the field in pursuit of the Chad arrow. Sonny?
I'm sort of just standing sort of half concealed behind a tree, just waiting to see if Chad grabs the bag.
Okay, Sonny, you are the one I would say of the three of you that has the best senses. That's also partially because of your hero path. You are the most acute in both your hearing, your smell, and your sight. And you're an archer
Of
too.
course.
So I think you're just kind of like the one who would pick up on this first. Robert's also dead sprinting, and Chad's also a human missile. So the only thing he's experiencing is the air is the air friction as he
The
fucking
rush of
flies through the
wind.
air.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Whoa! Here I come, motherfucker! So, Sonny, you immediately begin to smell something foul.
Oh,
Your nose and mouth become thick with a stench.
oh.
Something awful. And Robert, as you move across the roots and running, you faintly also begin to smell something foul. And it like you're kind of just like not really paying attention for it's kind of you shake your head at first like oh what's that smell? And you think I'm getting closer. Chad, as you're sailing, almost like doing a corkscrew through the air towards the bag, there is a moment where you turn, and in your trajectory, you're turned slightly to the side and looking up as you're spinning. And there's a moment where you see the shadow of something large speeding quickly down towards the clearing. Something large, winged, and clawed, and smelling quite foul. I need Robert. I need you to make me a roll. Now, Robert.
Yeah.
This is a very important roll. I need you to make me a roll. I'm going to say that you do get a boon in melee. So you will get to roll 2 dice for this. You're surprisingly athletic for a nerdy game developer.
It's all the LARPing. Does detail-oriented affect this at all? Do I happen to like notice the shadow coming down?
No, actually, what I will say is, since Sunny will also probably notice something descending on the clearing, Sunny, give me a D6 roll, or a boon roll, to see if you can shout out a warning in time.
Okay.
5.
Ooh, a 5.
What do you do? What is the warning you shout out?
Robert, watch out! Turn back!
Robert, you may roll me a double boon roll.
All right. Thank you, Sonny. Double boon roll. Boom, baby. That's a 6. Robert's rolling good tonight.
Robert, something massive comes down on top of you, but you have the reflexes and the perception to quickly and nimbly dodge to the side and go tumbling out of the way as something foul and large crashes into the forest right on top of all of you in this clearing. You see both Sir Prizes leap back. You see both Sir Nedworths scramble to one side as the bag goes rolling. You see the elven man turn as one of his arms begins to grow fur and hair and claws. And just then, in the field, you see Chad smack into the ground like an arrow. Thunk! Like point first into the ground. Now, I will remind you of something we learned last time. You are in weapon form until they remove you from that. So you are currently stuck like this in the ground. The bag is right next to you, but it has rolled slightly. But you are now stuck like this in the ground, kind of upside down.
Sonny, unequip him!
God damn it. Oh, yeah, okay. I unequip him as fast as I can, but I'm like definitely thrown off by the fucking dragon in front of us.
You would have to touch him to do that. However, Chad could also, when we get to the action sequence, Chad can also just jump in your inventory, which would technically null it because he can do that at any point.
Okay.
Just as a reminder, because he can just do that. He can just
gotcha.
if he wants to. But at the moment, that's where he is. But I'm just setting the scene of that's where everybody currently is. And Robert, you have tumbled and jumped back, and you are looking up at 2 black and yellow eyes underneath a dark cloak as a creature with large clawed limbs, huge wings, much larger than you originally remember seeing it. The beast looms over you. And you hear it say,
"So, we meet again."
And a large clawed
the
hand.
Beast.
Chaos specifically was his name, but he's known as the
General
Beast.
Chaos. As I equip the halberd.
And the large clawed hand raises up. What would you all like to do?
I am going to try and quickly duck and sprint in a lateral motion back towards the bag and towards
Well, actually,
Chad.
I'm reading a stat block here. You all need to make me a D6 roll.
I don't get no boons or banes for it?
As the overwhelming stench now rolls off from it into the entire area.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, you all make that. You all make that.
I'm gonna spend 2 karma to make that a 4, and then I gain.
Okay, so yeah.
Gain 2.
So Chad and Sunny make it,
failed
and then
roll.
you're spending karma to make it.
Yes. And then I gain karma because it was a failed roll, right?
I don't think
yes.
you gain on
I
a
spend karma to
Yeah.
make a success. I don't.
right.
Yes, correct.
So does a 4 succeed?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't gain karma, but I do succeed.
Okay, now we can move on. But yeah, basically it has an overwhelming stench aura, and while you're within its radius, there is a chance that its stench is so bad you will be unable to act. That is something I can tell you about this enemy.
Okay.
Oh God!
It
Oh,
is
smells
awful.
like snake. Ugh.
Actually,
is a-
does my nice spice clothing counter that? Because my clothes smell
You know
quite
what?
nice.
No. I will say you have a boon on these rolls because of those clothes.
Okay,
That's
so I
cool.
will do I just do
Yeah,
another
you know what?
normal
Give me another
roll, or-
D6 roll. Give me another D6 roll.
You know what? We'll take the original roll because I rolled a 1. Boon roll, I got the 2. But okay, that's a good thing to know.
But that would be
because
an
the
automatic.
Nice spice clothes specifically.
If it's a
Well, the
1 though,
boon-
that would be a fail.
It is a boon roll, which means I take the higher die, which would be a 2.
Gotcha.
It's not like the magic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like my dumbass just keeps failing everything.
Hey, you're getting there, Chad.
Turn them into
perhaps-
rings.
Maybe if we find a web designer, they can give you something that can help stabilize her. Food for thought for later.
Right now, we have a dragon to deal with.
I
Not exactly a dragon. He's more of a
Ask-
monster.
Because we've mentioned several times
Oh.
that the nice spice clothes smell really nice. So I thought it would be important to ask, does that counteract the stink?
I would say
It's safe.
it just gives you a boon
It
on making this check.
it does counteract the stink by giving me a move. It makes it easier for me to get over it because I
To
just, like,
weather the stench. Yes.
I just breathe into my elbow because it smells like pumpkin spice, and I just think of the pumpkin spice. Just think of the pumpkin
Alright.
spice.
Now, how do you all act?
I
this
would
moment?
like to continue my dodge and sprint, but try and do it more laterally to stay not flanked by the general chaos and get closer to Chad so that Chad can jump in my inventory and then still be that much closer to the bag.
Sunny would like to shoot, if he can, shoot the beast in the face to distract it while Robert is running, and then he would like to
Okay.
take cover behind a tree.
Okay, love that. All right. Coolio. All right. So you shoot an arrow to distract it. I guess roll me to hit, and I think you get a boon for
All right.
archery, right?
I do.
Ranged weapon attacks? Yeah.
6.
Hell yeah, bro. You
I mean,
fire an
well
arrow.
done.
It sails through the air into the cloak, and there's a thunk as it makes impact, and the creature recoils with a hissing roar, and its head whips in your direction. And now that it's like on the ground and moving, and its body is extending a little, as it moves its head towards you, there's a separation between the neck and the shoulders that is a bit longer than you are comfortable with, as the head and neck almost seem to extend and elongate slightly as they turn to look at you. It got longer. It was shorter. It got longer.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Would you like having?
I want to disappear. I don't want to be here. I duck behind the tree for cover.
You took your shot. You're ducking. Robert's making his way. Chad, what are you doing?
Well, as soon as Robert gets near enough, I'm gonna jump in his inventory.
Okay. Boop. In you go.
Does he
then-
also have enough action to jump back out and try and grab the bag?
I would say at the moment so I would say he jumps back in and that's his thing, and if you jump back out, that would be like a full turn basically, unless he wants to do something else from your inventory.
I don't want to throw the lamp at the beast.
We're launching the lamp.
We're gonna launch the lamp at the beast.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, this is resolving a bad roll from a while ago.
Yay! Something bad's happening to me.
So,
yeah.
Fly out of his inventory
So-
and just goes, oh, fuck!
so here's what's gonna happen. You launch the lantern, and no longer contained by, I guess, the suspended animation that is the inventory. As it materializes in space, it begins to glow and crack and explodes outward in a blast of brilliant fire and flame and heat. There's that big giant boom that echoes out in all directions, that white flash of light. And Sonny, you are blinded and deafened for just a moment where you're just kind of like, you're not hurt, you're just flash banged by it, and you're like behind the tree holding your
Damn.
head.
I got up on my eyes.
Oh god. Chad, you feel yourself switch to Sonny's inventory.
Oh no.
As in the explosion, the beast is launched back into the side of the tower and then scrambles up the side of it, hissing and screeching, and then launches off and flies off, smoking from the impact of the blast.
Hooray!
And as the smoke and dust begins to clear, Robert is gone.
No!
Oh, no! Did I get vaporized? Oh, no!
Robert.
Oh my God, no!
Yeah?
You open your eyes, and you're standing in the inn in Townsville. As above your head, an X with a 3 next to it appears and drops to a 2.
Oh, no.
Thank you all for listening to Hyperdive Heroes. If you like what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, and activate notifications wherever you get your podcasts.